Sunday morning, the first of my final 2 full days of the trip. My plan today is to head over to the south side of the river. I want to visit Battersea Power Station. It doesn't open until 12, and it's just after 10 now, about 10 after. So I've got some time. So I'm probably going to do breakfast this morning. I'll probably go to a little cafe, a little Greasy Spoon. My wife and I came here last year. It was pretty good. So I am back, and once again, I've gotten the English breakfast. Yeah, I'm a convert to the HB sauce. Thanks, Mark. That was great. Much better than I remembered. All gone. Thank you. And the orange juice was fresh squeezed. All right, I'm looking at around 35-40 minute ride on the Underground, Central Line to Northern Line. Right, Tottenham Court Road, changing to the Northern Line. We are Battersea Power Station. My first time seeing it. Battersea Power Station once housed 2 coal-fired power plants. Battersea A was completed in 1935 and Battersea B in 1955 after construction was interrupted by World War II. In 1975, Battersea A was decommissioned and Battersea B was decommissioned in 1983. But in between, in 1980, the building was awarded Grade 2 listed status. That meant that after the decommissioning, the building was protected, but it stood abandoned for over 30 years. All right, it's advertised as opening at noon, but Starbucks here is already open, so pumpkin spice latte time. So I've come out on the other side of Starbucks, which, by the way, was quite busy. And this is where all the shops are, or several of them anyway. In 2012, some multinational firms teamed up to develop the property into a commercial, residential, and entertainment space. The product of their endeavor was open to the public in October of 2022. Oh boy, they have a Vinci here. So this time I got my Cremino, Nougatine, and I also got pistachio this time. I can't remember what it was called. Something from Bronte. Pistachio, Piedmont pistachio from Bronte or something like that. I don't remember. And vanilla. Their vanilla is very, very good. And I've got the vanilla on top so they can eat it before I get the chocolate mixed in with it. So happy, happy days. This is certainly a part of the city I've never seen before. The Nine Elms area. The architecture here is quite different. lots of joggers out here this morning. This afternoon. And there is the U.S. Embassy. All right, over there is Vauxhall Park, and we're going to cut through it.
The spot of land that is now Vauxhall Park was once the site of a group of houses, and one of the houses was occupied by Henry Fawcett, who was a well-known academic, statesman, and economist, and his wife, Millicent, who was a leader in the suffragist movement. They lived there from 1874 until Henry's death in 1884. And Henry's wish had been to open their garden to the public as part of a park. And so after his death, Millicent teamed up with Octavia Hill, who was a social reformer and in 1893 would co-found the National Trust. Together with others, including local residents, they started a campaign to make Henry's wish come true. This resulted in 1888 in an act of parliament called the Vauxhall Park Act, which obtained the land to create the park, and the park was formally opened in 1890. Today, a mulberry tree marks the spot where Henry and Millicent's house once stood.
So right across the street here is the Vauxhall Gardens, or Vauxhall Pleasure Gardens. So it was a public site until the late 18th century in 1785, when it became Vauxhall Gardens, and admission was charged to get in and see everything they had going on here. Now we're at the Albert Embankment.
The Albert Embankment stretches between Vauxhall Bridge and Westminster Bridge. It's a land extension that was constructed between 1865 and 1868 to allow the creation of a new highway and more open space, and to even out irregularities in the riverfront.
This is St. Mary's at Lambeth, St. Mary's Church. It's a 13th century church, but that's a reconstruction, as I understand it. It was scheduled for demolition at some point in the 1970s or something. And then the rest of this compound is the residence of the Archbishop of Canterbury, the London residence of the Archbishop of Canterbury. Lambeth Palace, 15th century, originally constructed in 1435. Heard of it, read about it, saw it from a distance. Now here we are up close. Look at that old tower right there. Tell me this does not sound good. Banana Nutella Blondie. Classic brownie, salted caramel brownie, cookie dough brownie. Oh, that sounds too sweet. But this banana Nutella thing, I think I'm gonna go for it. This looks amazing. Yeah. Yeah, that tastes great. Very good. I was worried it would be too sweet, but it's really not. Awesome. And I've got a little bit of an Americano here. And the best part is I'm eating it within view of this. This coffee was like £3.10, but I was a little like, oh my God, this small coffee, £3 for it, but it's really good. And I just noticed that's the National COVID Memorial Wall. All those hearts, all that red, represent people who died from COVID.
Even having lived through it, it's difficult to appreciate the scale of loss. But it's because we lived through it that memorials like this are more impactful, more meaningful. Unlike the wars and other tragedies that happened before we were born or when we were too young to remember, we remember this. We were there for it. All of us were affected by it in one way or another. And seeing all these hearts on this wall really drove it home for me. Let's hope that next time it happens, we're better prepared for it. Look at that. It just goes on and on. Time to say goodbye to the river for a bit. We've got to cut off in that direction.
Dirty old river, must you keep rolling, flowing into the night? People so busy, make me feel dizzy, taxi lights shine so bright. But I don't need no friend, as long as I gaze on Waterloo sunset, I am in paradise. Every day I look at the world from my window, but chilly, chilly is the evening time. Waterloo sunset time. Waterloo sunset time. Waterloo Station every Friday night. But I am so lazy, don't want
been inside the Tower of London twice before, and though I do want to go again because it's a fun and interesting experience, it wasn't on my list for this trip. If you plan to visit in the future and you've never been before, I highly recommend you take the Beef Eater tour. It's a lot more interesting than the self-guided tour with the little audio unit that they give you. And it doesn't cost anything extra above the standard admission fee. So there's nothing to lose unless, maybe a little bit of time while you wait for the next tour to begin. But yeah, that's a small price to pay. It's claimed that All Hallows by the Tower is the oldest church in London, dating back to 675, though that is questioned. What's not questioned is that the church survived the fire of London in the 17th century, but then a few hundred years later suffered severe damage during the bombing of World War II. Americans may be interested in knowing that former President John Quincy Adams and his wife, Louisa Catherine Johnson, were married here in 1797.
I've been wanting to go to one of these Brewdog pubs for a while. Never been. So I think actually that's what I'll do before I head over to my hotel. All right, I got myself a pint of stout called Blackheart. Tastes pretty good.
I wanted to keep walking a little bit further, so I made my way toward Liverpool Street Station, the same area where we held our conference a week and a half before this. It was interesting seeing the empty Sunday streets and sidewalks in an area that is normally quite bustling during the week.
I'm going to sign off for tonight and make my way back to Shepherd's Bush on the Central Line. Where I will have dinner at Five Guys one more time. And call it a night. So, see you tomorrow. Hello there. It is Monday morning, the beginning of my last day here in the UK, and it's raining. Lightly, sprinkling. Looks like it rained a bit heavier overnight, some point in the wee hours maybe. That was expected, so I wasn't surprised when I walked out this morning. And the forecast called for rain during the day, so I expect this is not the end of it. I'm on my way to breakfast at Liz Cafe, the same place I had breakfast yesterday. After that, I'm going to walk over toward the Victoria and Albert Museum, assuming the rain doesn't get any heavier. After that, I'll most certainly get some Vinci ice cream, gelato. There's a Vinci location near South Kensington Station, just around the corner from the museum. And from there, I'll take the underground to Central London, say goodbye to some of my favorite areas in the city. I haven't been to Brick Lane on this trip, and I definitely want to get there today. And also head over in the actual city of London, the old city of London, Fleet Street and all that. So that's the plan for today.
Woke up cold one Tuesday. I'm looking tired and feeling quite sick. I felt like there was something missing in my day-to-day life. So I quickly opened the wardrobe, pulled out some jeans and a t-shirt that seemed clean, topped it off with a pair of old shoes that were ripped around the seams. And I thought these shoes just don't suit me.
Oh my God. This is so good. We just can't get them of this quality in Korea that I found. Cafe Donata. If you ever want to come to Korea, please contact me. I'll put you in touch with my wife. She'll hook you up.
Strolling in the sweet sunshine, and I'm running late, and I don't need an excuse, 'cause I'm wearing my brand new shoes. Woke up late one Thursday, and I'm seeing stars as I'm rubbing my eyes, and I felt like there were 2 days missing as I focused on the time. Then I made my way to the kitchen, but I had to stop from the shock of what I found. A room full of all of my friends, all dancing round and round. And I thought, hello, new shoes, bye-bye blues. Hey, I put some new shoes on and suddenly everything's right. I said, hey, I put some new shoes on and everybody's smiling. It's so inviting. No short on money, but long on time. Slowly strolling in the sweet sunshine, and I'm running late, and I don't need an excuse, 'cause I'm wearing my brand new shoes. Take me wandering through these streets where bright lights and angels meet. Stone to stone, they take me on. I'm walking.
I am inside the Victoria and Albert Museum. It is free admission, like all museums here, or most museums.
In 1851, the Great Exhibition of the Works of Industry of All Nations took place at Hyde Park in a specially built glass and steel structure called the Crystal Palace. It was a wildly successful event, and at the end had a surplus of 186,000 pounds. One of the commissioners of the Great Exhibition, Henry Cole, played a prominent role in pushing for that money to be used to improve science and art education in the UK. This resulted in the purchase of land just south of the exhibition area outside of Hyde Park in South Kensington that was to be developed for several educational and cultural institutions. And because of the involvement of Prince Albert, Queen Victoria's husband, the area got the nickname Albertopolis. In 1852, Cole was involved in the opening of the Museum of Manufactures, which was initially located at Marlborough House along Pall Mall, close to Buckingham Palace, before moving to Somerset House on the Strand. And it wasn't long before plans were underway to relocate it once more to the Albertopolis area and rename it as the South Kensington Museum. And this was officially opened by Queen Victoria on 20 June 1857. 42 years later, Queen Victoria laid the foundation stone to an extension of the museum, a new building, and the museum was renamed as the Victoria and Albert Museum. According to Wikipedia, the V&A is the world's largest museum of applied arts, decorative arts, and design, and it houses a collection of over 2.8 million objects spanning 5,000 years of art from around the world. It covers 12.5 acres and has 145 galleries. And did I mention that entry is free?
But yeah, that was It was a nice couple of hours. Okay, there's the station. Where's Da Vinci? Ah, Da Vinci's up here, right? Where did Yeah, I just walked right by it. It's right there. Oh, I don't see the nougatine today. Okay, I think I'm not going to eat Vinci here. I gotta have the nougatine. Nougatine's my favorite. It's my last day. They've got stracciatella and cremino. Two of my other favorites, but I want the nougatine. So maybe I will go to Covent Garden or Soho. I'll just check every location I can find. Okay, there's a Ben's Cookies here. And since I won't be at Westfield Mall anytime during the day today, it'll be late when I get there. I might as well go ahead and grab one while I'm here. I did say I wanted to try them. So I'll put off the Vinci for a little while longer. All right, I got a dark chocolate chunk, which is typically what I buy in Korea. I either get this or the milk chocolate chunk. So I'll compare it. And I just need a cup of coffee now. I decided to get one of these pumpkin cream cold brews because, one, I can't get them in Korea unless they're selling them this year, which I don't believe they are. And two, I've never tried one. And oh my God, it is so good. I like this better than the pumpkin spice, and I regret that I didn't get it earlier. Seriously, I can't believe how good that pumpkin cream cold brew is. It is really, really good. But the cookie is softer than the ones I get in Korea. The ones in Korea are soft, but they're not. Look how floppy this is, right? They're not like that, and they're thicker in Korea. And they're sweeter in Korea. I don't eat Ben's cookies in Korea anymore because they're typically sweeter than this. I'm surprised. I expected this to be at least the same. I didn't expect it to be less sweet. This is good.
Take me wandering through these streets where bright lights and angels meet. Stone to stone, they take me on. I'm walking till the break of dawn. Hey, I put some new shoes on and suddenly everything is right. I said, hey, I put some new shoes on and everybody's smiling. It's so inviting. No short on money, but long on time. Slowly strolling in the sweet sunshine, and I'm running late and I don't need an excuse. So wearing my brand new shoes. Oh, hey, I put some new shoes on and suddenly everything is right. I said, hey, I put some new shoes on and everybody's smiling. It's so inviting. Oh, short on money, but long on time. Slowly strolling in the sweet sunshine, and I'm running late and I don't need an excuse. 'Cause I'm wearing my brand new shoes.
The area of the old city of London known as Temple today houses two of the four inns of court, but in the 12th century, the Knights Templar relocated their English headquarters there when the previous site became too small for them. In 1185, they consecrated the Temple Church, a round building modeled on the Church of the Holy Sepulchre in Jerusalem. And later, when the church was extended, the original building became the nave. There's a lot of history here, but in particular, the area of the temple and the church played a role in the events that led up to the signing of Magna Carta during the time of King John. But that wasn't what brought me here. I was here to see one thing, the grave of a man who played a major role in the signing of the Magna Carta and who was considered the greatest knight who ever lived.
And here's the Marshall clan. Right there. William Marshall, first Earl of Pembroke. And his son, William and Gilbert. Okay, this is another one of those things that I've See, since I was a child, he was considered the greatest knight of his age. And when they pulled up his bones, he was very, very tall. He would have been considered a giant in his time, but he played a prominent role in the late 12th and 13th century, the late 12th and early 13th century. He's one of those figures in history that I've read about so many times. There's a great book about his life. I'll link it in the description below. I can't remember the name offhand. I read it a few years ago. Gosh, this is just so cool.
Afterwards, I headed to one of my favorite spots in London, Brick Lane, known for its street art, Indian restaurants, and vintage clothing shops. It's also home to a couple of competing bagel shops, the yellow one and the white one. I tried the yellow one in 2022, and so this time I wanted to give the white one a go before I left. It was amazing. Then I headed west, still on foot, toward Chinatown, where I had dinner at a buffet restaurant, very affordable one. And though I didn't film it, I did manage to find my nougatine at a Vinci location before I called it a night. This was my 5th trip to the UK, and it was the best by far. My decision to get around London primarily on foot was a great one. It gave me a perspective on the city I'd not had before. And walking those public footpaths through the lovely English countryside was just transformative. And maybe the best part was that I got to hang out with my buddy Mark and his family for 5 whole days. We normally don't get that much time together, and this time we had the beauty of the Lake District as a backdrop. That was a great, great time. The only downside to this trip was that my wife couldn't join me for it this time, but I'm hopeful she'll be with me on the next one, and I am very much looking forward to that one. There are places I need to see again, and places that I need to see for the first time. That day can't get here fast enough.